Can something that happened in your past to influence your love life today? This is the topic of our program. And in order for you to find more about it, we have sent our team in the streets of Baguio asking people the same question. So let's see what was the reply of all the people who got interviewed by our team.
Ano sa tingin mo? Can something that happened in your past influence your love life today? At ito nga ang ating katanungan na alamin ngayon kung totoo nga ba ang kanilang nakaraan ay pwedeng makaapekto sa kanilang relationship ngayon? Tara, samahan niyo akong alamin.
Yung family ko po, i-share ko lang, parang hindi sila okay, pero walang third party, okay sila. Yung lang, parang maingay sila. Pero hindi ko po siya dinala nung nagkaasawa na ako. Hindi ko po siya dinala. Parang para naman sinabi ko sa sarili ko, pag nag-asawa ko, ayoko ng ganyan. Gusto ko parang makaalis na sa sitwasyon na ganyan. Kasi alam ko kasi yung feeling. Kaya naman po, ngayon na may asawa na ako, as in, smooth lang po at okay kami. Kasi hindi ko po dinala yung ganyan na situation.
Yung sa akin naman, ayaw ko rin naman umabot sa punto na broken family kasi nga nakita ko naman yung sa father and mother ko na maganda naman yung so ayaw ko din umabot sa broken family kasi nga yung sa experience niya pa lang, ayaw ko ma-experience din mo.
Kasi importante kasi mag-tuloy siya sa relationship talaga. Mahirap yung tatahimik na lang kayo na hindi mo alam kung anong iniisip yung partner mo.
Pag nag-aaway pa kami, siya po yung first na nag-aaway.
Well, sa akin, natanggap ko naman, pero yun siguro hindi nga kami. Kaya siguro hindi kami nagkatuluyan. Kaya ngayon, ang naka-apekto sa akin ito is kailangan ko nang maging matured sa pagharap sa mas natuto ako at nagkaroon ako ng mas mapangunawa na harapin.
Ito po, may isa po akong relasyon na naka-apekto po sa buhay ko na nakadulot ng sobrang pinagdaanan ko sa life, lalo na yung pamantalataya ko sa kay Jesus na siyang nagpapago at nagpakitibay ng loob ko na kahit anong dumaan, kahit anong problemang dumaan sa akin, dapat harapin ko yun ng buo. And hindi dahil na nasaktan ako dahil sa kanya, dapat magadaw na ako. And sa lesson na yun, madami ako natutunan. Lalo na yung sa relasyon ko ngayon na dapat unahin ko muna o dapat si Jesus ang naging center ng relationship namin.
At ngayon nga, nalaman natin ang kanilang kasagutan at ikaw naman, nakaka-apekto ba sa love life mo ang mga nangyari sa iyong nakaraan?
Thank you to our Smart Love team Cubao and welcome to our Smart Love program. And the topic of today is very important, Flavia. We saw in the question and the reply that people, they know that what happened in our past can affect our love life in the present. But some people, they think the only thing you need to do is to move on, forget the past, and everything is going to be fine.
Yeah, sometimes thinking about our past can be quite painful. It depends what kind of experiences we had in the past. All of us, we had good experiences, which doesn't hurt to think about. But some of us as well, we experience moments that we rather not talk about. But it doesn't mean that it will not have an influence upon us.
Yes, like one of the couples they mentioned, I saw bad things that happened in my family, but now that I'm in a love life, now that I have my own family, I try to forget the past and I believe things will be different. We know that even if you try to forget, it does not mean that the things of the past will not compromise your present. Because when you talk about the past, we're not talking about something that is just behind. We're talking about something that follows us. That's very important for people to understand, couples and singles.
And many times it hurts us, it leaves a mark on us. So we really have to make sure that it becomes just a scar and is not still a wound.
Yes, we know that bad things can happen in the same way good things can happen, but there is the right way for us to deal with it. To ignore, try to forget, to pretend that never happened, it's not going to solve the problem. And what we see happening most of the time is this. People, they try to move on with their lives and they just bring something new on the top of the old and keep piling up until reaching a moment that they lose the balance and everything collapse the love life, collapse the family, and they get frustrated. And then they come to that question: why has all these things happened again? And if they really ask such question properly in the right way, they will be able to find out the roots, because that's what we're talking about in our love therapy every Thursday. We have roots, Flavia. Good roots, bad roots. And the roots, they are responsible for the fruits, for the results. But how can we remove bad roots if we ignore them or we struggle to spot them?
It's always much better to think about the experience we have in the past as something that we can easily deal with. Some people say, I don't let my past to have an impact on my love life today, because sometimes they cannot see how it affects them. Sometimes people can even be afraid to have a love life, so they think like this. So I'm very careful, but it's not only being careful, they are afraid, but they cannot see. And as you mentioned, imagine building a house upon a foundation that is very old. So sooner or later, it's not gonna work.
And actually, this is exactly what happened in the testimony that we're gonna be watching right now. We're gonna see two young people, very smart when they successful, pretty couple, very smart.
Yeah, because sometimes there are people who thinks, I didn't have any studies, or I didn't have a financial condition which was favorable towards me. But now we are going to see exactly a couple who had all of that, and still the roots from their past affect what they were building together.
Yes, it will show to us that trying to move on without fixing the past is not an option unless you want to suffer again and again. So I want you to watch this testimony, pay attention, and when you come back, we're going to show to all of you two roots that we could spot, two bad roots that was spotted in the previous life with the wrong choices, and how you can also learn to identify bad roots in your life in order for you to remove it, take it out, and be able to really enjoy a happy marriage, a happy love life. So let's watch this very strong and powerful testimony.
I always had a dream of graduating in law, and I succeeded. This was something that brought me a lot of joy. However, my love life was something that wasn't resolved. At 16, I started a relationship, and at 17, I got pregnant. After that, sometime later, I also had another relationship that I thought would work out, one in which I put all my hopes. But there were also many fights, many arguments, and it didn't work out either. After that, I became very frustrated with everything because my life wasn't working out, and I started developing a depressive condition. And there came a moment in my life when I wanted to end everything. I had a very strong desire to vanish, and in the suffering I was in, I spoke with a friend who attended the Universal Church, and she invited me to go. I was a bit reluctant. I had some doubts about it, but even so, I went. I accepted the invitation. And when I got home, I lay back on my bed. I hadn't slept for 3 nights, smoking nonstop. I remember that I closed my eyes, and when I opened them and reached for my phone, I saw that it was 7 a.m. the next day. And when I got up, I already got up feeling different. I started attending the services. I went on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and I always heard in the church, focus on the soul, focus on salvation. Salvation is everything. Be careful with anxieties. But deep down in my heart, I had an anxiety. I wanted a marriage. And after a year, I met Rodolfo, who was from another denomination. And I fell in love. I fell in love because, for me, Rodolfo was everything I wanted. He was already graduated, he was a doctor, and at the same time he knew the word. He was a pastor's son who had been raised in the church.
And then we started dating, right? We started dating. Later, I asked her to marry me. Things happened quickly. After 6 months, I got engaged to her, and it was going very well, thank God. But I didn't have a true encounter with God.
I saw in him some signs that he was different from me. In what way? In character.
She would sometimes tell me, "Love, you're saying bad words." And I would say, "No, it's because I got angry, right?" And I still kept some friendship. And before the wedding, 1 month before, I ended up getting involved with someone from work, and I couldn't go to the hospital because I was torn. Whether I should get married, whether I shouldn't, whether I should end things, and the wedding was very close.
Did you have any idea that he was cheating on you?
No, not at all. That never even crossed my mind, not even as a last thought. And I remember that I struggled with God himself, because I would say, my God, he's going to change. He will be transformed. I can't break up. I will continue this relationship. I want this marriage. And it was right around the time of the campaign of Israel in December. And then I said, I'm going up to the altar. I'm going to make my sacrifice, and God will transform him. God will change him. And then I prayed the opposite prayer. Instead of saying, my God, here is my sacrifice, I will do your will. No, I said, my God, here is my sacrifice. Let my will be done, which is to marry him. And we got married. Our wedding was beautiful. So the best wedding dress, the latest fashion, everything you could think of for a luxurious wedding, we had it. And I remember that I had always learned in the services to prioritize the altar, right? But I kept thinking, I said, if I get married here at the altar, the wedding won't have as much glamour. And what I now realize is that I forgot the most important thing, which was God's blessing on the altar.
You were worried about the glamour?
I was worried about the presentation. I was worried about the status. I was worried about the glamour.
The party could be beautiful, but your husband's expression was looking a bit strange, wasn't it?
Yes, but I kept deceiving myself. I would say, no, he's like that because it's the wedding, so he's nervous. And after this, everything will be wonderful. Our wedding will be beautiful, and we will be very happy. And then we went on our honeymoon to Cancun. I was in paradise, right? With the love of my life. I said, isn't everything going to work out? And then I sat at the table to have dinner with him. He looked at me and said, look, Samia, the truth is that I'm not well. I shouldn't have married you. And I want a divorce.
On the honeymoon?
On our honeymoon. You're kidding, right? Is this serious? I was just speechless. And then he said, well, yeah, it was horrible. That moment I had there on the honeymoon with him, I felt so lonely. I remember that I would go on the tours and come back crying. If I look at the photos now, I'm alone on the honeymoon, right? There's the dolphin kissing me because my husband wouldn't even look at me. And then I arrived devastated, alone, back here in Maceió, no longer speaking to him, and I went to the pastor and told him what was happening, that he had simply asked me for a divorce. And then the pastor asked me to invite Rodolfo as well, so he could talk to him. The months went by, and I didn't see him show any regrets at any moment. And then one day, I arrived at the church and said, "Pastor, he's being serious. He really wants the divorce. I've spent these months fighting, and I see no way." And he said, he doesn't want to leave this woman he's with. He doesn't really want a commitment with God because if he's married to you and he's having an affair with this other woman, then he's not seeking a commitment with God. And then I said, wait, there's another woman? Even the pastor, I thought to myself. I said, no, Rodolfo wouldn't cheat on me. He wouldn't. Because he's a guy who was raised in the church. He's a guy who knows the Bible. He wouldn't do this to me. And at that moment, a whole movie played in my head about everything I was doing, about the focus in my life, in my love life, in this marriage that had to happen no matter what, in this wedding that had to be everything my way. At that moment, I realized that I wasn't doing God's will when I insisted on all of that. And I remember that I poured out my heart to God. I said, "Oh my God, I cannot lose you." So when the next campaign came, the next sacrifice, I did it. I said, "My God, my life is in your hands. Let your will be done." And there, as I was humbling myself before God, a certainty of God's love for me came. I felt joy inside me, and a certainty that God was with me, and a peace that surpasses all understanding. It was truly something amazing. And I continued attending the services and going to the love therapy, always with that mindset. I'm going to do everything now according to God's word. And then, suddenly, a surprise came.
I think it was the worst day. I think it was a day when I was feeling overwhelmed, and I was at the hospital. When the shift ended, we were going home, you know? I got into the car, it was raining, and I started to cry, to break down. Then I remembered that there was a universal church nearby. When I arrived there, the theme of the service was Decision Day. That was the moment for me to decide what I truly wanted. I started calling her, and she returned my call. I said, "Love, forgive me. I made a mistake. I sinned against God, and I also sinned against you. And, I want my marriage back." She returned to Porto Alegre. Actually, she went to Porto Alegre to live with me. And from there, the marriage was fine, but it was a process of being born again, right? Because it didn't matter if things were good between us if I didn't have a relationship with God. I really had to acknowledge that I was just being religious. It was something I prayed for incessantly. I sought God and said, "My God, if your spirit doesn't come upon me now, I'm going to fail again. I'm going to disappoint you. So, I'm not asking for riches. I'm not asking for a car. I'm asking for your spirit, because if I come back the same way I am now, it won't help. Nothing will matter." And then God came upon me, and on that day, God came and confirmed this. It confirmed that He was with me, that He was taking care of me, and that all of this was for my own good. That I needed to go through it to understand His true will in my life.
And from that point on, yes, we began a happy, blessed marriage. We truly became one. We started attending the lectures and began putting into practice what we learned. Later, we went to the church altar, bringing our rings. It was just me, the pastor, and him. There were no flowers, no ostentation, no dresses, no vanity or glamour. But there was the most important thing, the Holy Spirit, God's altar, which really makes all the difference.
And after that, our family is here. The result of obedience to God. A wonderful family. We really follow what Bishop Macedo says, right? Like the art of the cross, the relationship with God, the vertical part first, and the horizontal part being the relationship between husband and wife. And thank God, God restored my life. I even apologize again. Forgive me. It was crazy, but I am more than happy to be by your side.
We cannot change our past, but we can use our past as a school in order to fix our present. In this very powerful testimony, Flavio, we can see two roots. Number one, she was anxious to get married, anxious to find someone, anxious to move on. And in his case, he was a religious person. It means my father is a pastor, I believe in God, so everything is fine. And when people, they live in such a way, ignoring those bad roots, no matter how much they try, we know what's going to happen. Problem, challenge, and pain will come along the way.
Yeah, the life story of this couple is a living proof that our past can indeed affect the present love life. Because of the things she went through in the past, the suffering, probably the relationship not working out, becoming a single mother, for sure it led her to make many mistakes. So here we can see how our past really affects us.
Yes, because if we don't spot those bad roots, so we keep building this idealization, this idea that things are going to work, that everything is going to change, and then we don't spot the red flag, the signs that is proving that something wrong, that problem will come along the way. But the really good thing is, the two of them, they humbled themselves, they spot what was wrong, and they came to God. Because when you talk about soul, when you talk about our heart, only God has the power to fix. For sure, God is not going to fix it alone. He needs our cooperation. He needs our effort, our sincerity, our humbleness, in order for us to say, God, I need you. I don't want to be the same. And that's what is happening every Thursday. Every Thursday in the love therapy, we teach couples and singles that there is no need for you to suffer in a love life. And if by any chance you're experiencing the same pain in your marriage, you came to a point that you think the only option is divorce, is separation, that's not the truth. Your marriage can be transformed. What does it need? What is required? Is required one of the two of you to decide to do something for it. That's what she did. When she understood that her own strength, Flavia, could not change her husband, she decided to concentrate on herself. She came to God and said, God, enough is enough. I need your strength. And when she humbled herself, we know what God did, bringing transformation in her soul, in her spirit, and at the same time touching on her husband for him also to be transformed.
Yeah, and that can happen with any one of us. Sometimes we don't know really what to do in order to fix the problem. Some people, they really find it hard to find the root. That's why it's very important for us to come to someone who can really help us and who knows us better than God. He will never judge us. And actually, that's not something we do either. We need to understand that sometimes certain things that people do, it's not because they are evil or they want to be always mistaken. Some people, they sometimes hear from their family members, you are always in relationships, you are always having a broken heart, but that person actually wants just to be happy, and she doesn't know what to do in order to break that cycle. So in the therapy of love, it's a moment where we learn how to fix ourselves from within to the outside.
If that's what you're looking for, you want to be happy in your love life, you want to save your marriage, you want to find the right person, every Thursday, Flav and I, 7 p.m., we come for the love therapy. It's a seminar where you come to learn accordingly to faith, according to the Word of God, how you can overcome, how you can be happy. No, when we talk about marriage, please, Flavia, can I have your hand? When we talk about marriage, when we talk about marriage, relationship, couples, we're not talking about something that has no value. Marriage is so important. A blessed marriage requires effort and work. Invest in your marriage. Invest for the two of you to become one. And then you see how life will not only be easier, but will be stronger, because two are always better than one. This coming Thursday, 7 p.m., we're going to be waiting for you with the seminar where we're learning how to cut bad roots. If you want to book an appointment to talk with Flav and I, we're available to you. You can give us a call, you can contact us, or you can just come in. We're here in Cubao, Araneta City. The Simbahan Universal is exactly in front of Ibis Hotel, in between National Bookstore and Sheikh's Restaurant. So this coming Thursday, 7 p.m., we're going to be waiting for you, and give a chance to yourself, to your love life, and to your marriage, because God has the power to make impossible things to happen. Okay? Thank you very much for you be with us in one more Smart Love, and next Saturday, 9 p.m., I'm going to be back once again with you. Bye-bye.
Here are 10 reasons why you should come to the therapy of love. To heal the wounds from past relationships,